Hey guys, Eric here with Project DIY, and I'm going to show y'all how to apply this foam expanding insulation. I have a bump out here right behind me. As you can see, it was open. This section was open last year. I have water lines under there. That's my bathroom that I put on for the master bathroom. I enclosed it with these decking boards. As you see, there's some gaps there from where the decking just meets each other. It's going to be a little bit of air to get in there, so we're going to insulate it. And hopefully we won't have any problems with any of the water lines freezing this year. Now, they do recommend wearing some sort of face mask or respirator. I have a respirator here that I'm gonna be wearing. I'm gonna put some gloves on, just some cheap nitrile type thin gloves, and then I'm gonna go ahead and wear a coverall, something to cover your clothes, because when you do this stuff, you don't want to get in your clothes to get ruined. You don't want to inhale it. You don't want it, preferably don't even want it on your skin. So I'm gonna go ahead and wear that stuff just in case. It's not that much. This here covers 200 board foot, and I don't have that much underneath there, but I'm gonna go ahead and spray it on. Might even spray it on a little thicker, just that way it gives it more R value. All right guys, we're getting ready to spray this up underneath the house there on the room addition, the little bump out. And yes, this is a time that you can wear a mask. That's actually a good idea to wear one. On the gun system that we're gonna be using, comes with a clear one, and then it comes with the white cap with blue. This is the fan shaped, this is the cone shape. I'm gonna be using the fan shaped is what I wanna be using, so these are the tips that we're gonna be using. Also, before we hook up the gun and start spraying and everything else, on these tanks right here, you want to shake them. It says, it has a piece on here that tells you to shake thoroughly. You wanna make sure you do that, follow the directions so everything turns out the way it's supposed to. So we're gonna shake these up, and then we're gonna get the suit on. We're ready to start spraying. All right, we have the tanks shaken up. They're ready to go. They have little valves on here, as you can see right here. We're gonna turn these in just a minute. Before we put our nozzle on, we're gonna turn these, open them up. Go ahead and open them all the way. And also another thing I did that I didn't show, before you do this, they had these on here tight, but double check, make sure you've tightened that down, because if you don't tighten that down and you open it up, it's gonna go everywhere. All right, so we have those both opened up. What you wanna do is prime this and let it, squeeze the handle for just a few seconds to let it run through, because you have two different hoses. Your blue goes with your blue tank, your red comes from the red tank. You want that mixture to be the same, so let it purge out for 5-10 seconds before you go putting that nozzle on, okay? So that's what we're gonna do now. All right, then you can take your nozzle. You have two sides. You have one there and a little bitty small slot there at the bottom, and the small slot's gonna go down here at the bottom of the gun, okay? You just take it, just pushes on there like that. And then to release it, you're gonna push this button and it will come off. Let's get under here and get this sprayed. All right, so here's our finished product. Sprayed it on. It sets up very quickly. So when you start spraying, spray it. I'm laying up here underneath the crawl space, and when I'm laying here like this, I'm about, from up here, I'm probably about 18 inches away from here, and you can feel the heat coming off of it. It puts off a lot of heat. So when you spray it, you want to spray it, let it sit, and it kind of expands. Then come back, hit your other stuff, then you can come back to it, hit it again, and put on an extra coat. This stuff here, I've got all this sprayed. It's probably all at least a couple inches thick, so it'll have a pretty good R value to it. Sealed up all the cracks. Obviously down there at the bottom it isn't, but I gotta put dirt down there. It's just the very bottom where it meets the ground. But all the way down there, all the ceiling, put all the ceiling up through there as well. I wasn't quite as concerned about the ceiling as I was the actual outside walls, because underneath of here, that's not where the cold air is coming from. The cold air is coming from the outside wall, so that's more of what I was concerned about than I was actually underneath the floor. But since I had enough of it, I went ahead and hit the floor up underneath where you're actually walking on. I got that plywood, the joist, all that fun stuff. So if there's any cracks or air getting through, it's just sealed all that up. This stuff actually worked really well. The only thing I will say, do make sure, wasn't paying attention one time, one of my tanks fell over on its side and it doesn't work right. If you have to have both mixtures at the same time, they gotta be working right. So pay attention when you're spraying that you do not have one, fall over on you or whatever, because if you don't, it does not pour with the right mixture and it just actually just runs. It doesn't come out. It's the two mixtures together is what makes that right there. Okay, nice fluffy piece of smashed popcorn looking stuff. All in all, it works pretty good. If you got a small space like this you need to insulate, I will say it is very expensive, but me trying to get actual insulation to stay in here on these walls and not get wet and everything else was going to be a nightmare. So this here solves that problem. So if you ever have some spraying insulation you do, check out this stuff here. It works pretty well. So if you would subscribe to the channel, give us a like. Check out some of my other videos. I got lots of other stuff that I've been covering on there. So if you would, we appreciate that. And as always, why hire a guy when you can DIY? Thanks for watching.